The S&P ASX 200.
Real-time investing tips and the latest business trends. Market Watch, weekdays only on CNBC.
The segment of CEO Call is brought to you by Mitsubishi Electric.
Looking at the Taiwan market, they're up close to 9% this year. It is, though, yesterday coming off a softer session, down 0.6, 71.20 on the TAIEX. Politics hanging over this market. The opposition in Taiwan has been urging ruling lawmakers to oust President Chen Shui-bian on charges of corruption. Chen's wife has been charged with embezzling 14.8 million Taiwan dollars in public money. Chen has denied the charges and said he will resign if his wife is convicted. For more on what all this is going to mean for investor sentiment in Taiwan, Sean King joins us. He's Vice President of Business Consultancy Park Strategies based in New York. The firm's Asia unit has a large focus on Taiwan. He joins us live from the NASDAQ market site in the Big Apple right now. Sean, good evening. Your side, nice to see you. What do you make of this whole scandal and what is it likely to mean for investor sentiment?
Well, I hate to be blasé about this because the charges are very serious and must be investigated to the fullest extent of the law. But right now, it seems not to have had much effect at all on the stock market. As you said, they were only down 0.6% yesterday. And the market as a whole, in the midst of this political mess that's been brewing for many months now, is up over 21% on the last year.
So why is that? I mean, has the market factored in not just political uncertainty, but I guess maybe even a state of political limbo?
I think so. You have to look at Taiwan's peculiar situation, especially as it relates to cross-strait relations. Taiwan has always had a particular set of political risk factors that companies have factored in. And the particular crisis President Chen finds himself now has been brewing for several months. So companies have factored this in. They've taken it into account ahead of time. This is a place where people throw tear gas canisters in the parliament. So this indictment does not, while it's certainly not good news, it's not the shock it might be in other markets.
All right, Betty, jump in.
Great. Thanks very much, Martin. Sean, I wanted to ask you, though, there seems to be a larger theme, though, of a crackdown on corruption in general, particularly in the banking among some of the banks. I wanted to see whether or not, fair enough that this is the political crisis right now going through with the president, that it's not affecting the markets too much. But in terms of the banking sector itself, it seems as if some of these announcements of investigations, that they are, in fact, affecting some of the stocks for these major lenders. And, in fact, do you believe that the sector as a whole perhaps is too risky right now to invest in?
No. In fact, I think you have to be careful where you put your money, but you shouldn't run away from the market in general. In addition to corruption charges against individual banks, there have been corruption charges against the financial regulators themselves in recent weeks. There has been a scandal recently about China Trust and Mega Financial Holding. But because of the credit crunch we saw sap Taiwan banks of many of its profits last year, we've actually seen foreign banks like Standard Chartered move in for the first time ever and buy wholesale Taiwanese lenders. So I think the financial market is actually one of the places where it has the greatest opportunity for gains because a lot of foreign banks are looking at local Taiwanese lenders to pick up and boost their earnings.
And, Sean, do you expect any of this political risk, though, to factor into some of the big technology companies in Taiwan, which, of course, have very close relations with China, like TSMC, UMC, maybe AU Optronics and Hon Hai?
I would not at this point. Right now, it looks like the current political crisis on Taiwan is not affecting Taiwan's trade with the mainland. Chen might play the China card and play to his nationalist base within Taiwan, his green base, and do something as it regards China. But right now, companies like TSMC, their customers are in the United States, Japan, and Europe, and their production is in China. And there's no sign of that slowing down. So again, a political crisis like this does not really affect a company like TSMC the way it would have in the past. But right now, I have no reason to think that what's going on in Taiwan is going to affect cross-strait trade in any way in the short term.
All right, Sean, last thought here.
I would be much more concerned.
Go ahead.
Right. I would just say I'd be much more concerned looking ahead to the 2008 election in terms of any cross-strait political risk to see if the opposition blue coalition comes in and might liberalize cross-strait trade and investment more liberally that would be a definite upturn for companies like TSMC. But right now, I don't see Taiwan's current troubles having any effect on a company like that.
All right, is Chen Shui-bian going to last that long, though? You've got the third recall vote coming up in the Legislative Yuan, the 24th of this month. Is that going to fall flat on its face, or could it actually go through?
It will go further than it did last time, because there's a strong indication that Lee Dong-wei's Taiwan Solidarity Union will join the Pan-Blue opposition in voting for Chen's ouster, but they would still be 14 votes shy of what they need. So I take Chen at his word now that he's going to hang on until his wife is proven guilty. But Chen is a political survivor, and who knows how long that trial will take. So I wouldn't expect him to go anywhere anytime soon.
All right. Good stuff. Sean, nice to talk to you, sir. Sean King, Vice President of Taiwan-focused investment firm Park Strategies, live with us out of the NASDAQ market site in New York. Next up on Squawk this Tuesday, it took on BlackBerry, and now it is taking on Palm. Patent holding company NTP slaps Palm with a lawsuit for alleged infringements. Details coming up in our tech report. That is next.
The segment of CEO Call was brought to you by Mitsubishi Electric. Changes for the better. Mitsubishi Electric.